So the next verse is Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 text 43. उत्सन्न कुल धर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वासो भवति इति अनुशुश्रुमा. So he's basically telling, O Krishna, the maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed, they dwell always in hell. So this is another very, very important subject matter, that if the family traditions are broken, the pinda offering is stopped and they don't get the food in the Pitraloka and they always dwell in the hell. So that means there is no connection of the ancestors with the successors. So now here 2 points are being mentioned. One is that Arjuna is mentioning that I have heard this through authorities. I have heard this through disciplic succession. So disciplic succession basically means that the information that is coming through a unbroken chain of guru and disciple. So that means there is a guru, it is directly coming from the Lord Krishna himself, and there is a connection from Krishna, Brahma, Narad Muni, Vyasdev, like that the entire disciplic succession comes. And when the entire disciplic succession does not have any breakage, there is no breakage in that connection, the knowledge that is coming down is also unbroken, it's also unadulterated, because a person may concoct a lot of things out of his own fertile brain, but that needs to be corrected, needs to be rectified, needs to be aligned in the direction of the scriptures. And for that, the guru is, the one who will correct the disciple if he goes astray, if he goes or diverted from the mainstream of the knowledge. So the importance here is emphasized here is that the guru disciple succession has to remain intact. There cannot be any breakage, there cannot be any loss of information in between. So if someone says that I have a guru and he has a guru and then he has a guru and then he has a guru, and at a certain point there is no guru anywhere, so then that's something that cannot be put faith on, because there is a disconnection there. So the next thing is the people, those who are not getting that Shraddha or the Pinda, they will always suffer a lot. So for us to enable them not to suffer, we will have to do these family traditions. And the system of Varnashram institution, so one has to undergo the system of Varnashram institution while somebody is living, so that they are trained enough in the perspective of all the values, and they pass those information to the next generation. And those who do sinful activities, there is a option, there is a process of atonement that's called Prayaschitta, and when one does that Prayaschitta, there is a possibility that one can save oneself from the hellish life. So here there are two things that can be understood, that if a person has committed some sin, there is a possibility of doing Prayaschitta, which will to some extent eradicate the future sufferings. But the tendency to commit sin is already there. The sinful reactions may not fructify because one does Prayaschitta, but the tendency to commit, as long as the tendency to commit sin is there, one person may continue to commit sin, and that will further create future sinful reactions. So just committing sin and doing Prayaschitta gets you nowhere, you get in the loop. But when a person understands that we have to do bhakti, we have to do devotional service, so when one starts to do devotional service, then the seed of committing sin gets fried, gets roasted. So then that tendency to commit sin does not occur again. That means the seed is now fried, so the seed loses its potency to further germinate. So it's important that we don't look from the perspective of doing Prayashchit in the future, or atonement for the future sins, or for the future reactions that we're going to get for our past sins, but also we should work towards getting into bhakti, the mainstream of Krishna consciousness, so that the tendency to commit sin gets eradicated and we proceed further faster way. So this saves both, the tendency to commit sin and also the sinful reactions. Bhakti can work with both, whereas the prayaschitta or the atonement will only be able to work only with the, to some extent, that too. It cannot completely nullify all the reactions to the sinful actions, but to some extent it will. But that's not a foolproof method or foolproof process to get rid of all the sins. So that's very important for us to understand. Let's see the next one.